Hi there, Cancerians. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Astrogirl, and we're looking at November 14 through the 20th. So, there's been a huge shift in the US, which is going to reverberate around the world, of course, with Donald Trump, President elect, Gemini, moving into the White House next year with his Taurus wife, Melania. And it was a huge shock, I think, to the world that Donald Trump was elected. Everyone thought it was a bit of a joke when he first said he was going to run for president. And when he continued to run and got the Republican nominee, people were still like, he's going to drop out. It's not going to happen. The Republicans are going to dismiss him. Well, there you go. You always have to be open-minded. And, he got in despite everything, despite the comments that were made, despite the name calling, and despite a lot of other things, including the Ku Klux Klan supporting him. It's quite amazing that in 2016, the Ku Klux Klan exists, let alone were marching today, I saw in North Carolina. It really is an amazing world we live in, and I think social media brings everything home, and sometimes a bit too much. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit overwhelming to know everything about people. And, you read the comments on Facebook and social media and what people are tweeting and all that sort of thing. And it can be a bit much. And I think maybe it's just time for those of us who get agitated and nervous and panicky reading all this stuff, because a lot of my friends have actually said that, and some of my clients have said the election has been way too much and way too serious, and name calling and bigotry and racism and anti-women stuff, that taking a break from social media might be an idea. And now this week, Neptune, which is anti-social media, it's the planet of dreams and fantasy and soulmate connections, moves direct, and it moves direct in Pisces, your spiritual zone. So if you're listening to what I'm saying and you're hearing it and you're thinking, I do spend too much time on social media watching too much news, which is always tainted by whomever is producing, owning the news station, or if I'm too caught up in what celebrities are doing, it's time to just chill and downplay all of those things that I've been seeing and reading and digesting, because I really do think that sometimes we spend so much time on the computer, so much time with all this information, that life just is passing us by, and especially for the millennials of this time, who use computers for everything. They don't know how to write a check. They don't know how to look up in a book to see at the Gregories or whatever to get directions. They have GPS navigation. Like, it's really quite interesting when you meet someone who's 20, 21, or a bit older. They have no idea of what it's like to wash a dish. There's always been a dishwasher, things like that. And I think social media is something that they're a bit more used to. But if you're of the older generation, if you're 35 and above, it gets a bit bewildering and it makes people panic. And especially being a Cancer, you're emotional anyway. And it's important that you look after your emotional health. And speaking of, you're ruled by the moon. There's a supermoon this week. It's the 5th supermoon of the year, and it's in Taurus, which is your 11th house of hopes, dreams, wishes, and friendship. Now, for those of you who are asking, what does that mean? It means that's the house in your chart that's going to be illuminated. It's going to be a bigger, brighter, more intense full moon than we've seen in quite some time. And it's in Taurus, which of course is a very stubborn earth sign. So if you have those lingering friendships, but they're not really friendships, it's more frenemies than friends, friendships where you feel like people make you nervous or you're not quite sure of where you stand with people, it's a good idea to go through and cull those relationships and just make sure that you're getting the most out of your relationships right now. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week.